He's 27-year-old, or was 27-year-old Ishak Mostefaoui. He was originally from Algeria, but moved with his family to the UK, to Leighton in East London, when he was 5 years old. And in 2013 or 2014, he made a decision to travel to Syria, just as the so-called Islamic State was building its caliphate in northern Syria. He travelled there with a group of students from Westminster University. He was killed, we understand, in the past 2 weeks during a disturbance and a possible breakout, one of a number that had taken place at the prison, which is in Hasaka, a town in northeastern Syria. It's a prison run by the Kurdish the Kurdish forces who control that area of northeast Syria. In November last year, we travelled to Syria. We went to the prison, and he was one of a number of prisoners who were brought forward for us to speak to.
Came here in the late 2013, 2014.
So you admit you joined the Islamic State? You joined Daesh?
I was within the Islamic State, living under the Islamic State, yeah.
At your own choice?
Yeah.
And what do you think of Daesh, of the Islamic State, now?
Well, now it's over. It's done. It's over and done with. And we're here, with a fractured skull, and one thing to go out to another, go back to what we've done before. And we've been here for the last 9 months, not knowing about our families.
But do you believe in what Daesh stands for?
No. They've done a lot of mistakes, and life is a lesson curve. It's a learning curve, like we say.
They cut people's heads off in Raqqa.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Were you involved with that?
No, not at all.
Did you see that happening?
No. I was not involved in that.
Now, the British government has not commented on his death officially, but we're told by UK sources and by contacts in northeastern Syria that he was he was killed as a consequence of this disturbance at the prison within the past 2 weeks. His death has brought to the fore the issue of prisoners, foreign fighters in this prison, and indeed the wives and the children of these foreign fighters. There are 5,000 or so prisoners in the Hasaka jail. There are, on top of that, some 10,000 women and children, most of them foreign, in a camp not far from Hasaka. Now, Western governments around the world have, by and large, washed their hands of these people and said they are no longer the problem of Western governments, and that they should be dealt with by the authorities in northeastern Syria, that trials should be set up in northeastern Syria for them to face justice there. But the Syrian authorities, the Kurdish authorities, have said to us, look, we simply do not have either the capacity or the expertise to be able to carry out these trials on our own. Now, the reason it is clearly such a concern now is because his death was as a consequence, we think, of an attempted breakout. There have been numerous disturbances at this prison. I've been there. It is not well guarded. It is possible for people to be able to escape the prison, and it's quite clear from those we spoke to that many of them still believe in the ideology of the Islamic State. Now, couple that with the lack of security in Al-Hol, which is the camp where the women and children are being held. They too, many of them there, also still believe in the ideology of the Islamic State. There is a real risk of them escaping and then perhaps making their way back to the countries that they came from. So it's a lose-lose situation. If they are taken back to the UK and to other countries, they would face trial there, but the possibility of unsuccessful prosecutions is there because of evidence that might be inadmissible in court. You then have to track them if they're freed in the UK or other countries. If you leave them in Syria, then there is the possibility that they could escape. A very, very difficult situation. And for the women and the children, I can tell you that the Al-Hol camp is not at all secure, and there have been reports in the past few weeks that smugglers are operating there, trying to get these women and children out of the camp.